Howdy folks, this is probably the penultimate update on this famous Mystery PYE rebuild. So a couple of things on the chassis. This had no on-off switch on it, it just had the neutral line with two wires poked down a hole in the chassis and not going anywhere, just twisted together, not even insulated. So I've replaced the volume pot with the one that had the on-off switch in it. The one I got from Radio Days, the shaft was too short, so I did a little mod here where I put a bit of aluminium tubing that has been, it's basically a press fit on either end of the shaft, where I heated the tube, pressed it onto the shaft at each end, and then when it cools down it's a nice tight press fit. So I'm pretty pleased with that, it's pretty neat looking. The only other mod I made in the chassis is around the back. Because there's plenty of room inside the chassis, I fitted a proper main socket. So this is a standard three-way main socket, and it's got dual fuses inside here, so live and neutral are both fused. And through the on-off switch, it's the live that is now switched, and not the neutral, as originally was the case. So I think that's it for the rest of the chassis. It's in reasonable condition, certainly working quite well. Still probably a little contact problem on the wave selector, but get to that a little bit later. So that's kind of it for the chassis at this point. So here's the new cabinet. It's pretty much done, I guess, at this stage, or at least as done as it's probably going to be. So it's turned out reasonably well. Lots of mistakes. Won't stand too close an inspection, but then it's going to be in my living room, so the only body inspecting it is going to be me. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with it, especially my little PYE logo there, all nicely insert on with mother of pearl. So I guess all I got to do now is put everything back together. So these are some of the other bits and pieces. So this is the divider that goes between the speaker grill and the dial plate, and so this was all rusted. So it's been sanded down, then a coat of primer, a coat of black, and a coat of clear. So that's looking pretty good at this point. The grill itself was in fairly good condition. I just gave it a quick spray up of gold paint. Ideally I'd like to just spray the brass color, but I can't find any brass paint locally, so it's gold for now. To mount everything, by way of stopping vibration, I just found some of this felt material in the local art store, and so I'm just going to cut that in strips like I did for the last one I did. Then I've got some of that spray contact adhesive, so I just spray it along one side, and then I'll stick it all around the opening so that the speaker grill and the glass plate mount against this soft material rather than butt up against the wood, and risk vibration and so on. The one last area which is causing a little problem is I've had a go at trying to redo the lettering on the knobs. Well, my guru for all these things to do with renovation is a guy called B. Anderson TV on YouTube, and so he shows a fix where you use artist's acrylic white to fill it in, and then you just remove the excess with a toothpick. And well, maybe my paint is different, but didn't really work for me, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get that off without doing more damage to the knob. So if you guys have any tips on that, by all means share. I think the challenge I have here is the grooves on the knob are just not deep enough, so there isn't enough really for the white paint to take hold. Anyway, I've left this is the wave selector, and so I've left the second part of it dry overnight. Have another go at that later. So, a few little bits and pieces still to do, so next will be put it all back together. As I say, the case is pretty reasonable, so hopefully next time you see this, everything will be back together and working.